My wife's new friends turned her against me, so I let her destroy herself. Let me take you back 9 months. My wife, let's call her Amanda, 36F, got a new job at a women's nonprofit. I, 38M, was proud of her. After 10 years as a stay-at-home mom, she was re-entering the workforce. We celebrated with wine on the porch, laughing like we used to. I told her I'd handle dinner for the week. She smiled and said, "You're the best." Back then, I still believed we were a team. Then came the friends. She met them through work, mostly single or divorced women, deeply into what they called radical feminine awakening. At first, I didn't think much of it. Everyone needs community, right? But these women were intense. One of them once told me I was a patriarchal accessory. I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Amanda started repeating their phrases, words like cis male conditioning, emotional labor extraction, and masculine invalidation. I'd cook her dinner and she'd scoff, "Is this your idea of feminist allyship?" No matter what I did, it was wrong. When I hugged her, she said I was centering my own need for affection. When I didn't, she said I was emotionally withholding. It didn't feel like a marriage anymore. It felt like walking through a minefield in my own home. It started subtly. She'd invite them over for wine and goddess circle discussions. I was polite. Made snacks. Took the kids out to the park to give them space. Then one day I came home early. They were sitting in our living room, incense burning, a large crystal centerpiece on the coffee table. One of them, a woman named Marla, took one look at me and said, "So this is the oppressor." I thought she was joking. I smiled and offered to grab drinks. She smirked. "Oh, he serves too. How progressive." Another, Lena, added, "Amanda, you sure he's not faking it? Most men play nice until they get what they want." They laughed like I was a joke. Amanda didn't defend me. She didn't say anything. Just sipped her wine and avoided eye contact. That night, when I asked her if it bothered her how they spoke to me, she shrugged. Maybe they're just speaking truths you don't want to hear. That was the beginning of the end. A week later, Amanda suggested we split the housework differently. She pulled out a whiteboard and drew a line down the middle. From now on, we split everything: dishes, cooking, laundry, yard work, even carrying the groceries. I said, "All right. Sounds fair." So I stepped back. When we got groceries, I let her carry the heavier bags. When the sink backed up, I asked if she'd like to watch a YouTube tutorial with me. She insisted on doing it herself. One day, I came home to her cursing while trying to move a dresser upstairs. I offered help. She refused. A week later, she threw out her back lifting a 40-pound bag of garden soil. She was in pain. I offered to take over dinner and laundry that week. She scowled and said, "I don't need your pity." She never admitted it, but I could see the frustration building. It wasn't that she couldn't do these things. Amanda was strong. But this constant need to prove herself was breaking her down. I think part of her realized she was walking into a trap, but the ideology wouldn't let her stop. Then one evening, she lit the match that burned everything down. We were eating dinner, me, her, and the boys. The kids were halfway through their spaghetti when she looked up and said casually, "I want to talk about opening our relationship." My fork paused midair. She clarified, "I need to explore parts of myself that monogamy has repressed." The boys looked confused. I gently asked them to go play in the living room. She rolled her eyes like I was being dramatic. Once they left, I looked her in the eyes. "Are you seeing someone already?" She smirked. "This isn't about anyone else. It's about me. About freedom." That smirk. I'll never forget it. It wasn't Amanda. It was someone who believed they were starring in a liberation story. I got up, went to my office, and came back with a folder. I dropped it on the table. "What's this?" she asked. "Proof." Inside were screenshots from her group chats, GPS data, emails, and a private investigator's report, all confirming that not only was she already seeing someone. She had slept with 3 different men in the last month. One of them married. One of them her coworker. And one of them was her energy coach. She went white. "You had me followed?" "No," I said. "I had you figured out." The next day, I invited her parents over. Amanda came from a strict Christian family. Her father was a retired pastor. Her mother taught Sunday school. They adored our boys and had always seen me as a son. When they arrived, I asked Amanda to tell them. She refused. So I did. I gave them the folder. Her mother trembled. Her father went silent as he read page after page. When he reached the message where Amanda joked that monogamy is a prison and she's ready to burn the whole cell block, he closed the folder. Her mother whispered, "Amanda. How could you?" Amanda stared at the floor. Then said, "You wouldn't understand. You're part of the generation that accepted being slaves." Her father stood. "You have betrayed your marriage, your children, and your values. You're not the daughter I raised." Her mother began sobbing. Amanda muttered, "You're all brainwashed. I'm the only one who's awake." Her father turned to me. "Son, I am sorry. I don't even know who she is anymore." They left without hugging her. I saw her crumble in the hallway, shaking. That was the last time they spoke to her. They now send birthday gifts and cards to the kids, directly to me. Weeks passed. Then months. Amanda tried to act unfazed, posting online about starting over, about freedom, about ascending. But her world was unraveling. The married man ghosted her. Her coworker got transferred and cut her off. Her energy coach got accused of fraud. Then, the nonprofit let her go, toxicity in the workplace. Apparently, she'd berated another woman for being a tradwife because she wore a cross necklace and talked about wanting kids. And just like that, Amanda, who once had a beautiful family, a strong faith, and a home full of laughter, had nothing. She showed up at my door in February. No makeup. Messy hair. Hollow eyes. "I have nowhere else to go," she whispered. I didn't let her in. I brought a chair onto the porch, handed her a blanket and tea. She cried. Real, painful sobs. Not performance. Not rage. Just grief. "I ruined it all," she said. "They said I was becoming who I was meant to be. But all I feel is empty. I miss the boys. I miss us." I sat beside her for a moment. Let her speak. Then I said, "You wanted to break free. And you did. But freedom without purpose isn't liberation, it's isolation." She begged. "Please. Just one more chance." I shook my head. "The woman I married wouldn't have done this. And even if you come back, she's not there anymore. If you're still listening, thank you. These aren't just stories, they're reminders. Be careful who speaks into your life. Not every friend is a friend. If you felt this, like, comment, and subscribe. You never know who needs to hear it." I filed for divorce and was granted full custody. Her own parents submitted statements on my behalf. The judge ruled decisively, citing emotional instability, abandonment, and breach of parental duty. Amanda now lives in a rented room above a yoga studio. She works part-time and occasionally posts self-help quotes on Instagram. I wish her healing. But I'll never let her back in. Our kids? They're doing better. Counseling helps. They ask about her sometimes. I tell them she's sick and needs time. It's not a lie. Just not the full truth. Sometimes, late at night, I look at our wedding photos. She was beautiful. Happy. Innocent. Now she's a ghost. And I'm raising 2 boys who will one day need to understand how love can die, not in an instant, but by 1,000 little betrayals. This is the story of how my wife tried to find herself. And lost everything. And how I learned that the strongest thing a man can do is walk away.